today. From MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 16 of the NFL on EA Sports. As we'll see Kyler Murray and the New York Giants taking on Justin Fields and the Miami Dolphins.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. Taken in at the 3. And able to get this out to the 25. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018, drafted #1 overall the subsequent year, Kyler Murray.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Murray now on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. This defense for the Dolphins, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A give to Jones. And he sneaks his way forward for a couple here. 2nd down. The numbers on the ground for Jones last week. 20 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Well, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting their feet wet early. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 40.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory right at the 40. On the delay, Jones. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Murray now. He'll get this one complete. That's A.J. Brown. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 24-yard line. Murray going to throw. And he's going to go down here as sacked. They push him back to the 34. Jordan Willis able to record his 5th sack of the season. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. The give is to Jones. Call it a 6-yard gain. Still plenty of work to do coming up. 3rd and 14.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down. From the gun, Murray. A check down here to Jones. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. No touchdown there, but if that first drive is any indication, looks like they're going to have a pretty good day passing the football.
I would say confidence would have to be pretty high after that first drive, able to throw it almost at will. You're exactly right. They didn't get the touchdown, but 3 points serves as a nice notice about how this offense is going to move.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
And he just continues to throw touchdown pass after touchdown pass around the league here down the final stretch of the year. Guys will say that the numbers and the rankings, they don't matter to him very much. I don't know how much I actually believe that. Sure, he's team first. I think everyone would like to see him finish number 1, including himself.
A little gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Fields. Being chased out left. And he goes out right around the 39. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. And, Charles, you think about this offense, it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench, just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this regular season?
I'm telling you, you don't ask the easy stuff, do you? I mean, you created a heck of a situation there, and actually you didn't create it. You presented it, and you're exactly right. It is tricky because your eye has to be on the ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl. That's paramount. But at the same time, how much fun would it be to go down as one of the all-time great teams and join the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl? Well, they're currently the best in the NFL in converting on third down, so it was no surprise there that they picked that one up.
And they've done it in many different ways throughout the season, Charles. Picking it up, running it, throwing it, just effective on third downs all year long. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a second and 3. Now it's Fields off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. And his throw is incomplete. And then following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. On the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Fields now to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Fields dancing to his left. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches. They snap it to Fields. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Touchdown! Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
Meanwhile, Murray's throw complete here to his receiver Brown. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now Murray. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. This will be caught by Brown. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Murray. That's caught by Marquez Callaway. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Throwing again, Murray. This one swung out here to Jones. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? To me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Take it in at the 3. And a great return. Solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. Forced out to his left. Pass incomplete with the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. I think you'd agree that looked like the right call from up here.
No doubt about it. What everyone has to understand is that the officials are going to be right on the play each and every time. You may not like the call, but they're usually spot on.
On first down, it's Fields. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On first down, Fields. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Back to throw, Fields. Caught! It's the tight end, Kelsey, for a Miami touchdown. Travis Kelsey, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. CD for them, this has just been an offensive explosion here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the 1st quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the 2nd. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment and you have to change what you're doing.
mentioned this earlier. Before you consider it's only got 78 games left, but it's only happened twice in the last 12 years that the team started on board with the Rams. 3 goals for Matt Ryan. Let's not the Lakers tonight. Let's not get carried away. I'm not counting them out, right? If they make some adjustments, right? Do I think that they have? If there are any adjustments out there that I can turn them into a contender? I do not think so, but I do believe that they can be a playoff team that can cause some problems. Absolutely. When you're saying if they make moves, you're just presently constructed. You guys do not think this is playoffs. Well, look, at the beginning of the season, I made my playoff predictions. I did. We spent 20 minutes at the top. Yeah, I do. But I had the Lakers as the winning team, and unfortunately, I also have the Lakers winning team.
Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better, and I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Murray. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. Well, a pretty move, couldn't create much space. Down just beyond the 35. To throw again on 2nd down. Murray finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Here's Murray from midfield. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Buying time to his left. And Murray with a smart move there at the end of the play. Picks up the 1st down and then slides to the ground. So we are at halftime here on Christmas Eve as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in everyone to this Christmas Eve edition of the EA Sports Halftime Report. So let's get to it. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. And it is the Jets who have the lead in the second quarter. Tyler Lockett, a touchdown reception. From there, we head down south to Tampa to check on the Bucs at home at Raymond James Stadium. And they've got the lead over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. The Bucs trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world. See what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they've got the lead in their matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Derrick Henry with a couple of touchdown runs. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Dolphins in front. Now they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. And the half will begin with a touchback. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play there for the Dolphins.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Throwing on third down, Fields. That ball is caught. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Touchdown, Dolphins. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Dolphins add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now Tucker to add the PAT. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
first and 10. Here's Murray. The throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
That was a route run, not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Throwing on first down is Murray. That's complete to his tight end, Ferkser. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Murray now to throw. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. The ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Rolling to his right. It got his man complete. And all the way down inside the 25 before he's out of bounds. It's a big play there for Miami.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Fields. Steps away to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. From the gun to give to Mixon. And some room to run now. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead them down. On play action, Fields sliding out of the pocket. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion. I don't care what he's listed in the program. Fullback, running back, tailback, it doesn't matter. He ran that play like a fullback. Just like the old days when we saw the fullback dive. How about him picking that one up?
Only needed a yard on 4th down. That's what he's there for, right?
Exactly. Line him up, short yardage situation, and say, here it is, big man. Go get it.
Not much there, only a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown on the campaign, number 7 overall. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, as one of the words you've taught me. and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. New York set to take the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Murray now on first down. Over the middle, complete. It's Brown.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. It makes it hard to defend.
A good gain on first has them set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Shotgun now for Murray. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. We're off to the fourth quarter here on Christmas Eve. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing now is Murray. Flushed out right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's second down. Here's Murray. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
And so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. To throw is Murray. Throw left side complete. That's Brown. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws. Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Being chased out left. And down to the 20 he'll go before getting out of bounds.
Normally we're talking about a quarterback duel where they're matching each other pass for pass. How about the footwork in this from both of these guys running the ball well?
Yeah, they've mixed in the run game. You're exactly right. Now, both coaches might not like how much their quarterbacks have taken off, but another example right there of just good mobility. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Now Jones. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Not something you want to see in week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation. Now Murray's got to have this one, and he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. A.J. Brown with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Giants are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. It appears they're going to throw forward with Murray. That's caught for 2. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Miami set to take over. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball. But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Again, it's Mixon. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
From the gun, here's Fields. Flush to his right. He completes it to Beckham. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Defense is worried that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a... And intercepted! Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 21. And the Giants are right back in this football game. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say, no better sight? Well, not for the quarterback who just throw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but throw one to the big guy. But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is, you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game, telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Open man left side. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. To throw, it's Murray. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Shepard. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. First down, Murray. Wide open receiver, complete. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Murray. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
Murray, one final try. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating, even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down, and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also on the ground, but both really started to come in sync. So for Miami, they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they run their mark to 15-0 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week.
It's not on one person. Actually, it's not on one, but he is. So, sack too much, turning it over too much, and not scoring enough points. And that's on all of us. So, the decisions that are made around that. Anybody who knows Sam knows he's made stuff like this. It doesn't mean he's going to win the offensive player of the week in the same. I can tell you this for sure.